She is a content marketing manager. She's also a Triangle Business Journal 40 Under 40. Please welcome to the stage, Pashara Black.
All right, thank you all. COVID makes a couple more steps have to come into place before grabbing the mic. So my name is Pashara Black, and I'm a content marketing manager at Ignite. We're a software company, content governance, collaboration. You can look it up, learn more about us, but it's not why I'm here today. And so when I started thinking about what I wanted my topic to be for today's talk around community building, I thought about kind of what I've done in my work, how I didn't necessarily have a traditional pathway to marketing, which I know a lot of people in marketing are in that same boat. And so I tried to draw on what I've experienced in my career and how that's tied into what I do now in digital marketing as a content marketing manager. So this is kind of how it started. We've touched on that a bit today. We were all kind of connecting pre-pandemic. I know I was going to 1 to 2 events a week and learning from people, meeting people. You know, that's one of the things people really love about the Triangle, that it's community-oriented and everyone just wants to help and grow together. And now we're kind of looking like this. We're sitting at our desks, we're waving at people virtually. I've met some of my coworkers in person for the first time here today, which is kind of cool, kind of weird. But, you know, that's where we are. And so the question kind of poses, how do you build community and how do you connect with people when we're all sitting behind a computer? And let's be honest, you probably are having virtual events on one screen and you're working on the other, or you're listening to a call in one headphone and then you're also probably talking to your kid or your dog or your partner or whoever. So how do we keep people truly engaged and give them that interaction that they're really craving? So I'm going to go into a particular company that I enjoy, one that I think we've all spent a lot of time with during the pandemic, and that I think does a really great job of building online community. But first, I'm going to jump into this slide here that just talks a little bit about the different types of digital marketing. I know we've talked earlier about what traditional marketing looks like, and this is just to kind of give you a visual, and now I will jump into it. So Netflix, I know we've all been Netflixing during the pandemic. I have kind of this overall picture here. You can see a few pieces of their content. There's probably 1, 2, or 3 things that you can pick out that you're really interested in, but maybe this isn't enough to make you sign up and to choose Netflix over Hulu or Sling or Paramount Plus or whatever streaming service is coming out. And Netflix saw that, and so they figured out a way to segment their audiences, speak to them directly, and help them build online community. Enter Strong Black Lead. Strong Black Lead is a campaign that Netflix runs that speaks specifically to Black voices and Black stories and speaks to me directly as a young Black millennial. And what it does is they saw within the market that there was a cry for there to be Black stories that didn't feature suffering and didn't feature struggle, but really showed strong Black leads. And so they saw that. They talked with their audience and not at their audience and answered that. And so you can see here they have an online Instagram community of over exactly 700,000 followers. So that's 700,000 people, including myself, that is following what Strong Black Lead is doing and keeping up with what they think that I want to learn about. And you can see their pubbing here as well at Most, which is for their LGBTQ plus community if you're interested. And so they're giving me an overview of everything that's coming out for the month, things that are either things that came out when I was younger, like Why Do Fools Fall in Love, but then there's also new things like a Naomi Osaka documentary that's amazing. So I'm putting these things on my calendar every month. I'm tuning in. I'm excited to watch them. I'm talking with my friends about it. Then they're giving me really cool content like this that shows characters. This is Bridgerton. I'm sure a lot of you watch or have been watching that during the pandemic. This is making me want to watch it even more or go back and watch it. I'm laughing at that funny moment that I didn't think anyone else saw but me. And now I'm sharing this on my story, and my friends are talking about it too. They're giving me a podcast. You see the trend here. They're taking the content and they're flipping it multiple times. They're seeing that something works, and instead of just moving on to the next thing, they're taking that and doing it again and again and in new ways. And so I'm sure we're all familiar with this, your traditional marketing funnel. But what I want to challenge you to do today, based on what I've shared, is think about how you can segment your audiences. And you may be thinking to yourself, I work in tech, I work in life science, I don't do something cool like Netflix. But this can really be applied to any industry. Even at Ignite, we focus on life science. We're focusing on architectures, engineers, construction. And we have specific content and specific podcasts and webinars and blogs and white papers and et cetera, that speak just to them. So in conclusion, the landscape of marketing is ever evolving. Just when you find your sweet spot with marketing, that means you need to get back out there and learn some more, because it's about to change on you again. And segment your audience. You can't blanket your content. You just can't. You can try it if you want, but it's not going to stick. And lastly, your users want to be engaged with, not at. And so what that means is listening to them and understanding what kind of content they want to receive versus shoveling them the content that you think they want. Thank you.
Now it's time for your questions for Pashara Black about how marketing is evolving. Raise your hand, we will get to you with a question. First question coming up from the front row here.
Hi there. I'm not sure that this is directed to you, but to all of the folks who spoke. I came here hoping to solve a problem that I'm experiencing. I own a small company that literally got mothballed during COVID because we needed to be outside. We built it. The infrastructure exists. The principals of the company had to go find other things to do. As COVID seems to be waning, we'd like to breathe life back into it, and we know it needs digital marketing. We don't know how to do it. We don't know where to find a freelancer, a small company, or even a potential partner who'd want to do it for us. So if anybody can help, I sure would appreciate it.
So a good question for you would be, as people are trying to move into this digital marketing world, what things should they know? What should they be aware of?
So I think the first thing that you should know is that you always want to capture some type of information on people so that you can stay in contact with them, whether it's an email or a phone number, or even it's a mailing address, if that's how you prefer to market. But you want to make sure that you can keep the conversation going. And I actually think places like this, the Frontier, where there are other small businesses, is a great place to meet people, because you can scale together and likely they'll have comparable rates that align with the size of your business.
All right, other questions on digital marketing, how it needs to evolve here in the post-pandemic era, or I guess current pandemic era since I'm wearing a mask. Okay, question from social media then that I pulled out on my phone over there. You spoke about Netflix kind of doing some micro-targeting of finding people who could be a cohort and marketing to them with content. Do you see that as a direction people should go, or is that very focused content marketing a springboard into a larger, more broad marketing?
So I definitely think that segmented audiences, segmented marketing is the way to go. That's going to help build community, and that's going to help it organically grow. Of course, there's going to be a content that applies across the board for your business, but ultimately you want to make sure that you have your segmented audiences.
And follow-up question there, with more and more digital marketing platforms becoming available all the time and people spending more time at home, what are the platforms that you think people need to be paying attention to as they bring out their digital marketing strategy?
So I know a lot of people were really into Clubhouse a few months ago. I am indifferent on it. I think the main thing is that whatever platform that you choose, you do it well. You don't want to spread yourself too thin trying to be on every platform. If LinkedIn is working for you and your audience is there, then focus on LinkedIn, and so on and so forth.
All right, question from the back of the room here.
I guess Well, you kind of mentioned in the very beginning about how how it's kind of like a norm for everyone now to just like be on a computer screen, and just like that's how our day-to-day life now. So I guess I was kind of wondering, like, how has marketing had kind of have to change like this flip-flop with the whole pandemic? Like, oh, things are really bad. Oh, things are good again. Oh, things are really bad again. Like, how do you guys keep up with that and like evolve with that change?
That's a great question. So I think, of course, when you're dealing with the public, when we're in the midst of a pandemic, something that can be emotional for different people in different ways, you definitely want to be aware of when are good times to engage with your audience. That's one. But I also think someone touched on it earlier, just with everything being online, it's almost like a numbers game. You want things to be high quality, but you also want to be consistently in front of your audience, consistently giving them opportunities to engage. Even like with the Strong Black Lead, I may miss 4 of their 5 posts, but that one post I saw because I popped online while I was eating lunch, it was a great post. And maybe all 5 were good, but I'm not catching every single one. So it's a numbers game, but you also want it to be high quality.
And then last question, what marketing innovation that has come out during the pandemic do you think is going to be the one that sticks around and becomes the new normal for the next decade?
So something I'm seeing that I think is really cool is people sending curated boxes and gifts to their clients, their leads, their customers, things that are giving them at-home experiences that still make them feel tangibly attached to the brand. So maybe that's like a swag bag, or that's like a meal or a wine or something. So you're still getting something physical and you still feel a bit physically connected, but you're still safely at home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, big hand for Pashara
Thank you.
Black.